This is what you call a zero emissions car. If you live in California, this is what you're going to be driving in about 5 or 6 years. I see Hyundai sending us a Tucson hybrid SUV to drive. Let's take a close look at the paperwork. Or, since it's on the computer screen, the video work. The Tucson hybrid starts around $33,000, but this is the deluxe model. It has more goodies. So here's some of the stuff. I'll just scroll down. You can freeze frame if there's something interesting you. Now we get to the price. $38,910, but they're charging $210 for carpeted floor mats. Come on, guys. Really? All this stuff, you can't include the carpeted floor mats as standard. I don't know why car companies, they just have to have something on there extra. I don't know. And with shipping, that's the total fee. And the good news, this is a Korean vehicle made in a Korean factory by Korean workers, which means the quality is usually top rate. Really slapping together over there. Here is the government safety rating for those concerned about such things. So here it is in person, and as you can see, it's a little dirty from all the storms we've had. But I've washed this thing twice already. I'm not going to do it a third time. We'll just have to look at it dirty. Besides, it's going to be raining in a couple hours anyway, so carrying on. Here's the side view and the rear. One of the first things we do when we get a vehicle is to check and see what the brand of tires are, because a lot of manufacturers are cutting corners and putting cheapy, junky tires on. But these are Michelin's, top tier, no complaints here. 235/55R19 for those who are concerned about the size. The second thing we do is check and see if there's a spare tire. Being an SUV that might go off-road, I would hope so, but there isn't. Just a little tire air pump kit. If you're going to take an interstate trip, or you're going to take this off-road, get a spare tire. Get a flat without one. Not a good idea. And I get emails all the time, people saying, well, if I get a flat, I'll just call AAA or the roadside assistance. Yeah, try that on a 3-day holiday weekend. See what that gets you. Or if you're in a place where there's no cell phone coverage, or both, doesn't work very well. And the third thing we do is take the headlights out in the dark so they perform and do a night drive. We did a video on YouTube already doing that, but if you didn't see that, we'll attach it to the end of this video. You can watch it. We'll look at it later. First, let's look at the cabin. Alright, first thing you'll notice when you get in here is we don't have a stick shift. Instead, it's a push-button transmission. Thank you very much. I like this. It's far superior to a stick shift because, number one, it doesn't take up any room. If you got a stick shift, you're reaching in here, banging your hand. No thanks. Secondly, it's very precise. R for reverse, D for drive. Pretty hard to get the wrong gear. And third, you really don't have to look at it. If I keep my eyes on the road, I can feel and know what gears I'm in. What really puzzles me, you had a lot of YouTube car testers crying about these. Oh, it's so confusing, and oh, I can't operate it, and I always have to look and try to find the buttons. What, are you kidding me? R and D, we all went to school to know the alphabet. You don't even have to look anyway, like I said. This is a far better system than a stick, period. Now moving along, we have the drive mode. Giving you Eco, Snow, Smart, Sport, and a little light show. It looks better in the dark than the daytime. And the lock button for going off-road. I think it's a locking differential. I haven't checked out the specs yet, but it does pretty much the same thing. Giving you better traction in the mud and sand. But if you're going in mud and sand, you better get a spare tire. Here's what the camera system looks like. Not very big, but very high quality. And because of all the reflections, it's hard to show the info screen controls. Here's your climate controls. Your volume for the radio, which is almost impossible to use when you're driving. However, you have a separate setup on the steering wheel, so you don't need the one on the infotainment system. And this changes your stations too. Another handy feature. Overall, this cabin's pretty nice. Materials, workmanship, very good. Although I don't know how long these white seats are going to stay clean, being a press fleet car, but looks nice. And the glove box is big enough. The non-hybrid Tucson has a 187 horsepower motor, rated at 26 to 33 mpg. This hybrid version is a 1.6 liter turbo with an electric motor and battery hooked on it for 226 horsepower. And here's a fuel economy claim: 37 in the city, 36 on the highway, with 37 overall. Pretty nice numbers if you can get it. By the way, this is rated all-wheel drive. Now, just to note, we are driving in hot weather. It's been like 114, 116 degrees all week. Right now it's 101 degrees because we just had a rain. Hybrids don't like heat, so sometimes you get some numbers not as good as what we're seeing on paper here. Somebody had this car before me and they racked up some miles, and it was 30.1 mpg. I racked up a few miles on it since then, and now it's down to 29.4. I have no idea how they were driving, freeway, city, or what, but according to the EP sticker, it really shouldn't matter. We're going to reset one of these computers to 0 and do some driving tonight. A nice highway trip. See what kind of numbers we get. Alright, let's do some driving. The power steering is kind of vague, has no feel. Not a problem around town. It'd be interesting to see what it's like on the freeway driving at 75 miles per hour. Doesn't seem very precise in the center. Well, we'll find out. But for daily driving, I don't think anyone's going to complain. And the ride is very comfortable. Most hybrids I've driven, though, have noisy tires. We'll find out when we get on the freeway tonight again. Since the hybrid Tucson has 39 horsepower more over the non-hybrid Tucson, plus the extra torque you get from the electric motor and battery system, it's definitely quicker in acceleration. Oh yeah. Nice brakes too. We're going to take a highway trip, approximately 100 plus miles, and see what type of fuel economy this vehicle gets. And it's about 4 o'clock in the morning, 84 degrees. There's two things I've noticed when driving this vehicle at highway speeds. Number one, the steering is rather bland in the center. There's just no precise feel. So when we get high winds like we have tonight, the car has a tendency to wander a bit. Hard to go in a straight line. And number two, the tires are kind of noisy when they get on rough pavement, which seems to be a common issue on hybrid cars in general. I think they're using a special type of tire with stiffer sidewalls for less rolling resistance, I'm told. That would explain it. But right now we're on smooth pavement, so it's not a problem. Also, there's a lot of wind out tonight. We're on 20 miles per hour last time I checked. That plus the highway speeds, I'm hearing a lot of wind around the vehicle, but I'm pretty well insulated. It's not making its way into the cabin, so it's still pretty quiet in here. Alright, looks like we reached the end of the road, so we'll pull over see where fuel economy is. And because of the high wind I was fighting, I suspect we're going to have a slight lower number than I would like, but you never know. There we go, 113 miles, 27.5 mpg. And a reminder, the person before me racked up just over 300 miles and did 30.1 mpg. Although, again, I don't know what type of driving they were doing. Freeway, city, mixed, I don't know. It's worth mentioning the car and driver tested almost the exact same vehicle recently. You know, they're highway driving, they got 28 mpg. Oh, we don't know what the temperature was on their little drive. I just know what mine was. Hot. Alright, it's 91 degrees, kind of cool out. Let's take another highway trip so we can bump up those numbers. Alright, the wind is mild tonight. Not it was heavy last time, and traffic is very, very light. A lot lighter than it was last time, so hopefully we'll get a better fuel economy number than we did last time. We'll find out soon enough. Well, we kept the cruise control on and put it in eco mode, and 30 mpg, I think that's the best figure we want to see on the highway driving. So what's my take on this Tucson after we get driving? For me, the advantage of this hybrid is the extra power. The get up and go. If you get better fuel economy in the process, fine. If not, you don't. If you're looking for fuel economy on this and you live in a mild climate where the temperature is not over 100 degrees all the time, you'll probably do far better in the fuel economy department than we did. It's hot out here, and like I said, hybrids don't like heat. Neither do electric vehicles. You lose about 40% of your range on an electric vehicle if you're running in air conditioning all day. But for general transportation, I think the non-hybrid Tucson's a pretty good way to go. A lot less expensive too. Your choice, your money. Now it's time for the headlight test. Click and watch.